Now, he's a singer, songwriter, guitarist. In fact, he is a man of many, many talents. South African musician Dan Patlansky releases his new album on Monday, and the critics who've reviewed it have given it a resounding thumbs up. The launch of Dear Silence Thieves coincides with a showcase concert and ahead of a short tour of the UK. Well, I'm delighted to say that Dan now joins me in the studio, but before I talk to him, let's listen to one of the tracks on the new album. Dan, welcome. I was just saying off camera, the song reminds me of the Kaiser Chiefs. That's another thumbs up.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for accepting the invitation. But I mean, look, you've done so many things. What don't you do?
Apparently tour the UK that often, you know what I mean? We're here now. And it's fantastic to be here, and you know, it's all about, for me now, I mean, we've been touring South Africa for years and years and years, parts of Europe, and it's, you know, we've kind of, you know, come across here now and are trying to kind of build up a following here and you know, build the profile up here, and it's fantastic to be here.
And that's the thing, isn't it, that whenever people think about South African music, we have this very fixed perception about, you know, sort of choruses and choirs, whatever, yeah. But we don't think, well, hang on a minute, there are musicians out there who are actually pushing the frontiers, and we're only just discovering you. Exactly.
I think that's the common misconception is, you know, when you think of South African music, you're thinking of traditional music, and there's a whole world of music in South Africa. You know, I'm doing the blues rock thing, there's, you know, pop rock, there's jazz, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, fantastically talented musicians out there, yeah.
And what's so fascinating is that it's blues rock and they're two musical opposites. Yeah. So how do you fuse them together?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, blues kind of gave birth to rock and roll, like way back in the day, Muddy Waters days and all that stuff. So, you know, I think they're closely related, and for me, it's just it's a match made in heaven. It really is. The blues and the rock, they just go together. You know, fantastic.
Well, you mentioned Muddy Waters. Was he one of the earliest influences for you?
Oh, without a doubt. All those old blues guys. Muddy Waters, B.B. King, Son House, Robert Johnson. I mean, those old blues guys were just legendary, you know.
And on the subject of legends, now, you actually performed with Bruce Springsteen because there was a concert in South Africa around, what, 2006 or something?
No, it was at 2014.
2014, that's right. Yeah. Now, he chose you. Now, OK, he's the boss, he can have whoever he wants, but he singled you out.
Yeah, I mean, that felt incredible. I mean, just to kind of crack the nod, if you will, from Bruce Springsteen. And, you know, the fact is he never has support acts because he plays for so long at his show. So it was fantastic to be kind of recognized by Bruce. And, you know, what exposure for a niche music artist like myself to play in front of almost 80,000 people at the F&B Stadium in Johannesburg. It was definitely a milestone for me and one of the highlights of my career so far. Man, it was incredible.
But did you actually get the chance to perform with him during his set, or was it like, OK, warm them up, get them in the palm of your hand, and then hand them over to me?
That was pretty much it, you know what I mean? We got like a 45-minute slot before Bruce.
45 minutes?
45 minutes, which was fantastic, because it's normally a lot shorter.
Oh, that's very generous.
And, you know, the fantastic thing is Bruce watched our entire set from the wings of the stage, which I thought was, he didn't need to do that. I mean, he's Bruce Springsteen. But he really enjoyed the set. And
what did he say afterwards?
He said, thank you for playing before us. I said, no, thank you. You know what I mean? What a pleasure playing before Bruce Springsteen. He was the most down-to-earth, most humble man I think I've ever met.
Do you think you'll ever get the chance to work with him again?
I would like to hope so. Listen, I didn't get to chat to him too much after the show, but I mean, he made it clear that he really enjoyed the set and his love for blues and blues rock, you know. So I really hope that, you know, one day in the future that me and Bruce can do something together.
Right, I'm going to appeal to the camera now. Bruce Springsteen, if you're watching, we need a collaboration between you and Dan, just in case you're watching Bruce Springsteen. You never know. You never know. But the other thing which I find interesting about you is that you're billed as a solo artist, but you have a band. It's a trio.
Yeah, I mean, well, I tour under my own name, Dan Patlansky, but, you know, we have this power trio thing going on, you know, like famous bands like Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan.
But where's Jimi Hendrix and the Experience?
And the Experience. So, yeah, I just tour under Dan Patlansky, but I've always got a bass player and a drummer, kind of power trio behind me, doing that, and a trio's got a certain sound. It's a real in-your-face kind of blues sound. It's not your daddy's blues, if you know what I mean. It's like modern, in-your-face blues, yeah.
And how long have you been with these guys?
I've been with them for the last 5, 6 years, this particular group of guys, and they're fantastic players, and just really kind of blessed to have such great players backing me, you know.
I mean, did you find them or did they find you?
I found them with like open auditions, man. You know what I mean? And you have a whole bunch of guys coming into audition like auditions work, and I just found these two incredible musicians, jazz-trained musicians that can play rock and roll and the blues thing.
Which
like,
is actually quite rare, because jazz is such a difficult form, so to get into it, it's hard in itself, but to break out of it into another tradition, that's pretty damn good.
Without a doubt. I mean, you really pigeonhole you know, a lot of jazz musicians, but these guys, you know, are good enough to kind of play anything, and they have this love for blues rock too, and I think that's what it's all about. It's passion for the music you're playing. Because that's what kind of gets you through the tough times.
Well, that's what certainly comes through in the footage of you guys playing. You're having fun, you enjoy what you do, you're in the zone, but there's still that connection.
That's, for me, it's always been about the passion. I think you're kind of faking it if you're playing a genre of music that you're not kind of passionate and in love with, you know? And that pushes you through the tough times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because being a musician, it ain't easy. You know what I mean?
No, it's not.
So it's the passion that gets you through, yeah.
Now listen, we've got 1 minute 30 seconds left.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me about your album. This is a new one. This is Claire's Silence Thieves.
Dear Silence Thieves.
Looks like Claire. Dear Silence Thieves. I do apologise.
No.
I mean, how long did it take you to put this together?
Well, I mean, it's a long process. I started writing a year before, you know, we went into studio. You know, you write on the road, you write at home about experiences you kind of see on the road and experiences in your life, and then eventually you get into the studio and you think you've got the songs like they should be, and then the producer tells you,
No.
we're starting kind of from scratch, and you know, you spend a month in the studio, and there's another month of mixing it, and then we released this in South Africa last year, toured it in South Africa, and obviously we have
to good reviews.
Yeah, to great reviews, and now we're officially launching it in at the Borderline this Monday in London, and starting the UK tour. You know, and officially releasing it on in UK and Europe. Which is,
Now listen, very, very briefly, where does this tour kick off?
It kicks off Borderline the 27th, which is this month, which is Monday. Yeah.
Fantastic, Dan. We wish you the best of luck on that tour, and thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you.